Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with a Simpler Stocks free video for November 8th, 2016. As you see, it's about 30 minutes after the close. Today was all about two big things. Number one, everybody's talking about the FBI closing the investigation or not finding anything further, and everybody's saying, oh, relief rally, relief rally. And obviously that's one part of it. But we're going to get into what I think was even bigger. So right now you have the ES is closing almost on their absolute high of the day, up 49 points. You have the NASDAQ up 118. Look at that. It can't even fill it out, the entire thing in here. A 5-digit, 118 point something. So it can't even fit it in there. In fact, let me take this over here and move it. There you go, 118.25. You actually had to make it wider because it's 5 digits, 5 decimal places. Yeah, the TF's up 29.50. Bonds really not selling off that much considering this massive rally, up 23. You had the industrials up 371. Like I said, near their high. The SPX up 46. Transports up 255. Gold down 22. Crude oil up 87 cents. It was really up about all day. The Mexican peso going nuts on the upside in here, which it should with the news. You had the advanced decline positive about 2,000. It was really around 2,000 all day. You had the VIX getting pounded down 330 and the UVXY down 5.07. You had the German market up over 1.5%. It's represented by DE Dow. The Nikkei, which I've told you I've liked, up 435. And the Chinese market doing much of nothing in here. So when I talk about what's going on with the FBI and how that's only one piece of the puzzle, let me just tell you on how I look at this. First thing you have to understand is when we're on Simpler Stocks Premium on the chat and in the watch list and the email alerts, we try to be a little logical about this. And what do I mean by that? That basically what I sent out today as an email alert is that the market would go to where it was when the first FBI disclosure came out. Guess what? The market went exactly to that spot. This morning I said I think we go to 2130. That's where it stopped. And guess what? We're at 2130. The whole idea is sometimes it's a lot easier than you make it. And the easy thing is just to realize that the market went down because of that FBI thing. Once it's gone, it comes back to the same spot. And that's what we have. That's only one part of the equation, though. The other part is what I've been warning about now for 2 weeks. The outperformance of the transports. The transports have been really underperforming since last year. We've been watching that if you take on the left the transports, and I'm going to put it on a daily on the left, and then you put the SPX on the right, you could see that the transports even last week, when we had that sell-off almost every day, 9 straight days down, it was almost 9 straight days up in the transports. This is what I've been talking about, this bull flag on the left over here. When you see that kind of move, it's very rare that you're going to have a trend to the downside of the SPX. I've been talking for weeks about, is a transports going to pull the SPX up or is the SPX going to pull the transports down? Well, this is a clear break to the upside. Now, the deal in here is weekly, like you see, it looks much better. Just understand this. Go and zoom out here of the SPX weekly and the transports. You realize the SPX went to a new high and the transports now are only 1,000 points from a new high. So there's still that Dow theory sell signal. I never think of it as a sell signal. I think of it as something that has to snap back in line. And that's something we'll watch closely this week. I think very carefully that you need to watch this inverse head and shoulders in the Dow Jones transports. And realize that this move is about 1,000 points. Guess what? That would get you to a new high. So that's what we're going to be watching in there. As you know, we still have the $7 30-day trial right now. And let me just tell you, in our Simpler Stocks, that's not going to go on that much longer. But right now, what you get for that trial is you get the chat room from 9 to 10 in the morning. You get the premium videos, a lot more in depth than what you're hearing now. The email alerts, which I'm real proud of. We show unusual options activity. Not to trade options, but to find tells that unusual options are telling you the stock direction. We have stock trades and chart ideas. I usually put out 6 a day. And usually index and futures charts, I put out at least 6. So just understand that What we do in here, we sell. I email this out every day. One thing I want you to realize: the unusual options activity isn't like 6 ideas a day at all. I see all the time on the Twitter sphere where other option sites put 100 ideas a day. There's no way you could jump on 100 ideas. I try to put ones that'll work right now. And if you look and go through it and sign up, you'll see that our track record is pretty darn good. So I hope everybody's enjoyed this video. Looking forward to a wild day tomorrow, election day, and looking forward to being on tomorrow night. So everybody have a great night. Talk to you later.